Oh, I guess I just can't sleep right now. I'm thinking about the lecture that was posted on the forum about rest. Now, what's got me up tonight is whenever we think of rest, we don't often think of it as a way that we can serve God. But rest in itself is very important, both scripturally and I guess to the life of a person in general. It's like the guest speaker was saying, rest is a time that we can have to fellowship and commune with God, that little slice of heaven, because God rested on the seventh day. And how interesting was it that the notion of God creating rest on the seventh day, that just blew my mind whenever our speaker talked about it. I didn't exactly think of that ever before I heard that. So thinking of it like that, and also thinking of it in terms of the Ten Commandments, where it says to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. How many times in this culture that we have, this American culture, trying to follow the American dream, do we run ourselves ragged and almost destroy our body? I'm living proof of that. I have done that so many times prior, going to the emergency room because I've been so busy. But how many times do we place such an emphasis on making sure that we get that last T crossed and that last I dotted, and worry ourselves to death over productivity, rather than spending time with our family and taking a day for rest and for worship? And even on Sundays, how many times do we go to church and then we have to rush home so we can get the house clean, or so we can get the report done for tomorrow, or so we can prepare for the week to come? We never really rest. But if we're going to follow the scriptures and follow the Ten Commandments, which, as Brad said in the lecture, were written by God in stone by the finger of God twice, if we're going to follow that, then we really have to start taking serious keeping the Sabbath day holy. Of course, Jesus worked on the Sabbath, and that was touched on in our lecture as well. So is that wrong? We have to look at what the Sabbath is made for. The Sabbath is made for that day that we can take for complete and total worship and, I would say, communion with God and fellowship with His children in His church. You know, that's a wonderful thing to look at when we look at the love of God. He provides us a church family. He provides us a day that we should take to regenerate ourselves with Him. And often we ignore it. But how often, or how long are we going to continue to do that? To ignore this very vital commandment that God has given us? I don't have anything more to say on that via video. I might type a little bit more, but other than that, if you will excuse me, I believe I'm going to get just a little bit of rest. Oh, and don't forget to say your prayers.